Good evening, Facebook world. My name is Carmen. I'm joined today by Miss Norma Turner. And we thank you so much for joining in and participating to be a part of this live discussion about substance use, substance misuse. Um, we're going to wait a few more minutes to allow people to join into the room. Once again, we thank you for your time. We're so glad that you're here. We have some good information to share and give you some support and tips for how to deal with people that you may love that may be misusing different types of substances. So we're gonna wait a few more minutes. I see a few people are joining in, so we're gonna wait maybe 2 or 3 more minutes, allow some people to get into the room before we get started. Looks like we have Gail here. Hi, Gail.
Hi,
Um,
Gail.
Gail Simmons. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining Living Life Coaching. This is a topic, substance abuse is a topic that we really care about. It's a topic of concern, and we have expert coaches that are ready and willing to not only provide knowledge about the topic, but provide support to those who may be in need. So thank you. Thank you once again. We're waiting for a few more people to come on into the room this evening or this afternoon, and we'll get started in just a moment. Give it about 30 more seconds, and then I'll do an introduction of myself and then introduce our fabulous guest speaker, substance abuse advocate, Miss Norma Turner, who we at Living Life Coaching are so very grateful to have her present this afternoon to share her story, which is very personal to her, and to just talk about her encounter with substance misuse. So about 10 more minutes or 10 more seconds. I'm sorry. I'll go ahead and get started. All right. Well, good afternoon. Once again, my name is Coach Carmen. I am a coach with Living Life Coaching. We are a team of experts in various subject areas or subject matters, topics such as grief, finances, depression, anxiety, trauma, substance use. And today we are presenting a topic related to substance use, substance misuse, with our guest speaker, Ms. Norma Turner. So we're so happy, Norma, that you are able to join us this
Thank you.
afternoon. Thank you. I'm going to let you introduce yourself to Facebook world, to Living Life Coaching followers. Why don't you tell them a little bit about who you are, where you're from, maybe some of
Okay.
your hobbies?
All right. Well, my name is Norma Turner, and I am a cat lover. Anybody who gets on my Facebook page knows that I love cats. I have 4 of my own. So it's all about cats for me. It's everywhere in my house. You can see the curtain behind me. It's got a tiger on it. My hobbies is I love making refrigerator magnets of people's pictures that they give me. And of course, I have plenty of cat magnets, you can only imagine. And I founded Stoners and Loved Ones Who Hate Heroin on Facebook. It's been going for 5 years now. That's as long as my son has been passed away from heroin. And that's pretty much me. I
Well,
work.
thank you so much. I didn't know about your secret talent making magnets, so we'll have to talk offline. I
Okay.
might. I love magnets to put on my refrigerator.
All I
So
need is a good picture.
I'll chat with you about getting that.
All right.
Well, thank you so much. As Miss Norma alluded to, she does run a Facebook page, Stoners and Loved Ones Who Hate Heroin, that she created, founded, runs in memory of her son Todd, who sadly succumbed to be a victim of heroin. So I'll let Norma, why don't you tell us a little bit about your connection to substance abuse, maybe talk a little bit about Todd and his substance of choice, and share a little bit about his story.
Okay, thanks. Uh, Todd was 36 years old when he passed away. He, uh, alcohol was my son's drug of choice. It really was. He didn't do heroin very often. That doesn't make it right, but he didn't do heroin very often. He drank a lot. He did meth. He started using alcohol when he was 10 years old. I came home from work one night and he was drunk on our front lawn. And that was a red flag right there, you know. And I worried about him drinking, and financially, I let him live with me, and he paid nothing. So that, you know, enabled him to continue to do what he was doing. Uh, and he didn't work much. He stole from stores to make money, and I didn't like that. So he spent a lot of time in jail also. And he got in an argument with his girlfriend one night after he'd been up for 36 hours drinking, and he did a shot of heroin, and he told his brother he didn't feel it, so he did another shot, and that's what took him down. Um, you know, I've had ex-heroin addicts tell me before that you never do back-to-back shots, never. And so he did because he was so high on alcohol, you know, and I'm not sure what else, but I'm pretty sure it was just alcohol. And doing that heroin just did him in. And because he stole, he was in jail quite often. And it was funny, but not really funny. But when my son was in jail, then I didn't worry about him. You know, I knew he had a place to sleep every night. I knew he was getting 3 meals a day. And that's pretty sad, you know, when you are happy your son's in jail because now you know he's safe. There's
Yeah.
no drugs around. Yeah. So, but yeah,
Well,
my, go ahead.
my my condolences to you. I know you said it's been 5 years or so, but I know that the loss doesn't get any easier.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
my heart really does go out to you.
thank
And
you.
as I know that you probably are still grieving, some days I'm sure better than others, and it's
Yeah,
it's very unfortunate. And I think you made a lot of good points that it's very common with people who abuse substances, whether it's alcohol, heroin, cocaine, or even
yeah,
people abuse prescription pills, is that
right. Yeah,
usually you see multi-substance use. Usually alcohol is the first substance of
well,
choice you
it's the
use.
gateway drug.
It's a
Alcohol
gateway
really is
drug.
the gateway drug. Yes.
Definitely. It definitely is a gateway drug. And when you start using alcohol, your inhibitions are lowered. You feel
Oh,
lax.
totally,
You
totally.
feel that you have more ability and strength, and you're able to do things that you may not be able to do. Your perception of reality is
Right.
altered, and that can lead you to using other drugs such as
Uh-huh.
heroin, cocaine, prescription pills, and
Right.
it could really have a lethal effect, unfortunately, as we saw in Todd's case. One
Right.
of the
Yeah.
things you mentioned, Norma, was that sometimes he would go in and out of jail, when he was still money to use, or he wasn't working. So maybe he was using
Stealing
the
stuff
money
from
to buy
stores. Yeah, and then going and selling it. Yeah.
and going and selling it. Well, parents often worry. And so one of the things that maybe you can talk about is, as a parent, how did his use of alcohol and or heroin impact you emotionally? Like, talking about the worry. Were there any financial impacts to you? Were you loaning him money?
Right.
Or
I never.
socially, did it interfere with your all's relationship,
Right.
where maybe you got into arguments more than
Yeah.
normal? So
We
why don't you
did.
talk a little bit about that?
Okay. Well, we did get in arguments a lot because I could always tell the next day when he'd done heroin because he had real restless sleep. While he was sleeping, the sleep was very restless. You know, moaning and groaning and acting like he hurt. And so I knew. So we would have arguments about that, and it wasn't always pleasant. And he would get mouthy. You know, that wasn't pleasant either. But I'm just glad his pain is over. Sometimes I'm just because I think he was in a lot of pain. He used to tell me it was easier to be in jail than it was to be out on the street.
Wow. Wow.
And for somebody to say that, because jail was structured, Todd was real good with structure. He wasn't good at keeping a job, so that kind of out. He had jobs, but not enough. And I never loaned him money because I knew. So he'd go out and steal and make his own money.
Right.
You know. So
Well, as I stated before, I am a substance abuse expert. I've worked in the field clinically, providing counseling to individuals who have been substance use abusers, as
yeah,
well as loved ones who have been trying to be support system for those that they love and care about who've been
right,
addicted to substances in some way. And we know that it affects the loved ones quite significantly as well, psychologically, a lot of worry about the person, a lot of anxiety. Is this hit? Is this next pill? Is this next hit of whatever drug of choice? Is this going to be the one to cause
take yeah,
cause them to be taken out, unfortunately, be their demise. And so there's a lot of worry with loved ones. There's a lot of anxiety.
yeah.
Sometimes there can be some depression as well, when
Oh,
you don't.
I'm I'm sure there was.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
the person that you love don't necessarily play out the vision that you have for them, their life
right,
doesn't go down the path
exactly.
that you've envisioned. So, at Living Life Coaching, we have coaches here. We're here ready and willing to support those loved ones who may be experiencing some of those
Right.
psychological impacts as well. Norm, I did have one more question
Mhm.
before we wrap up here in a few minutes about your role as a mother. Were there times that you tried to intervene with Todd to help him break away from his addiction from alcohol? If so, can you talk about a little bit? Can you talk a little bit about those interventions, how they went, and
Okay.
how
Uh,
did they end?
I suggested several times that he ought to try to go to rehab, but he wouldn't hear of it, and that would cause arguments. And when he was in jail and he wasn't doing drugs, he was just a wonderful guy. Very funny, comical, funny, and concerned about himself. But then as soon as he got out, it would just be the same old thing. And it was very sad to see. And what I didn't realize when I started my Stoners and Loved Ones Who Hate Heroin page is that it's really helped me with my grief. There was a
Mm,
time that I couldn't even talk about Todd without breaking down, and
mm,
helping others on my page has really helped me. I will never get over it, but it has eased a lot of the pain.
yeah.
Hearing other people's stories and stuff.
Well, you're very courageous to be able to talk through it today, like you said, without emotionally breaking down. That speaks to your courage, that speaks to your strength. I'm looking at the comments where Gil said Ty was a funny animated character who made people laugh.
He
And
really did.
yeah, oftentimes the people that struggle with substances are very charismatic. They're very lovable people. It's just that some point in their life they got derailed and the substances became more of a stronghold in their life,
Right,
unfortunately.
right,
So
yeah.
we have a few minutes left. I want to open it up to questions and answers. So if there's anyone that's watching, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. And we'll get to them if we can. If you're unable to get your questions in the chat, or if you're viewing this on replay, feel free to reach out to us via email. You can find us on Facebook, Living Life Coaching. You can send us a message via Facebook Messenger. You can visit our webpage, www.livinglifecoaching.org, and be able to contact us that way as well. So if there's any questions related to substance use, substance misuse, how to provide support to loved ones, please reach out to us. I do see one question that says, Norma, with him, your son, starting at such a young age, did you notice his behavior getting worse throughout the years?
Yes, definitely. His behavior continued to get worse and worse. It,
Mm,
his attitude on on life itself was not good. Towards the
okay.
end, his attitude about life was really sad.
Mm,
When you
yeah,
think jail is better than the street, you know.
right.
And he didn't live on the street. He always lived with me. So, you
Mm,
know, or other people in the family he stayed with also.
okay.
And we all knew.
Yeah, I think after a couple years, family starts to catch on. If it's somebody that's close to you, whether it's a
Right,
family member or a close friend, you notice the deviation in their behavior has changed and that there's something else going on.
right, yeah.
Um, I see another question that says, Dr. Lewis, can you explain the difference between substance misuse and misuse? I think they meant abuse, the difference between substance misuse and substance
Oh,
abuse. Okay. So substance abuse and substance misuse are very similar. There's just a very small difference between the two. Substance abuse are going to be when you see people who abuse substances. That means they know that they are taking them incorrectly. They are taking them with the intent to feel a certain way. Sometimes say,
right,
I want to feel good. I want to feel high. I don't want to
right,
think. I want to feel numb. That's
right,
substance abuse. You know that you're taking this substance, whatever it is, to
right,
deviate or alter yourself from whatever your reality is.
right,
Substance misuse is oftentimes accidental. You may not know that you are incorrectly using a particular substance. So, for example, prescription pills. Somebody may be given a prescription medication for opioids, and it's prescribed a certain way. Maybe they're only supposed to take one opioid a day and they forgot or they didn't read the bottle correctly and they end up taking three a day. That's substance misuse. So it's just a
yeah,
small difference, but
right,
the biggest thing is abuse is about intent. You know that you are abusing a substance with the
right,
intent to feel away, feel high, whatever the case may be.
yeah.
All right, looks like could you peak to it being hereditary? So Gail says, could you peak to addiction being hereditary? Speak. Okay. I think she meant speak. So can I speak to it being hereditary? So we know through research, so my background is psychology, and we know through research that alcohol has a genetic component for sure. What that means is if someone in your lineage, your heritage, your
That's
mother, your father, your mother, your grandmother, your grandfather, if any of them were addicted to substances, then there is a gene that could be passed on to you. Does that addicted to alcohol? I'm sorry. There's the alcohol gene that could be passed on to you. Does that mean you'll be addicted? No. That means that you have the gene, but you're
right,
not going to be born necessarily addicted to use alcohol. There are things that we do to activate it. So maybe you start using alcohol just socially, and it sends these signals to the brain of, okay, that feels good, I want more and more. And so the more and more that you use, the more and more you activate that gene, the alcohol gene, that makes
yeah,
it stronger, that creates the addictive behavior, which is formed in the brain. So addictions are built in our brain biologically. and they can be broken. They can be broken through rehabilitation programs
Yeah.
that targets the brain through therapy, through counseling, and sometimes through the use of medication.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't
Okay.
see any more questions. Once again, if you have any questions that we didn't get a chance to get to, or if you're viewing this on replay, please send us a message through Messenger. Visit our website, www.livinglifecoaching.org. I also encourage you to join Norma's Facebook page. Go like Stoners and Loved Ones Who Hate Heroin. Some really, really good information on there, very engaging information as as well. So for the month of July, the Living Life Coaching team will be offering some discounts for people who are interested in signing up for coaching. So I encourage you to follow our page on Facebook, like it, share it. We're always posting different things throughout the week, inspirational things, educational tips, and also offering free discounts just as we are for the month of July. Month of July, anybody interested in a coaching consult, we're offering free consults throughout the month of July. Please follow us, like us, and sign up today. Thank you so much for joining in, and farewell. Take care until next time.
Thank you. Bye.